Do you have full-blown Morgellons disease, or do you have just a mild case of it? Maybe you have, maybe you just have some itching and some stinging and maybe a little burning every now and then, but you don't have any sores on your body. Or maybe you just have some crawling sensations on your skin. Feels like something crawling on you, but you can't see anything. Or maybe you just have some movement or just some other kind of strange movement sensations. Maybe you have the just the stinging sensations, or maybe you just have a few bumps on your skin somewhere, and sometimes you feel some movement underneath those bumps. Or maybe you just have a crawling sensation on your scalp, on the top of your scalp, and you don't really have any other symptoms. Some people have full blown Morgellons where they have all of the symptoms. Some people have a mild case of Morgellons. Wherever you're at, you need to start now taking preventive measures to protect yourself from Morgellons. If you do have a mild case of it, there's things you can do to keep it from turning into full blown Morgellons. In my case, I had full blown Morgellons. It was like somebody just flipped a switch and my skin came alive. It started out with a feeling like something jumping off my body. Then came the crawling, the stinging, the itching, the burning, the sores, all of that. So it's possible. Nobody knows everything about Morgellons, but it's possible that you could have Morgellons laying dormant in your body, and you might just be having some mild, slight symptoms now, which could turn into full blown Morgellons later on. The studies now showing that Morgellons has reached epidemic proportions. Now, they're not really giving out the numbers because honestly, I don't think they know. I don't think they know how many people have Morgellons. They have the last time I looked, there was 100,000 reported cases in the U.S. and Europe. But now there's some people are saying, or some sites are saying it's up into the millions, but I'm not sure about that. So we can't put a number on it because we don't know. All we have is the people who have reported it. That's not counting the shut-ins, the people who are locked away in their homes, hiding away in their homes, isolating themselves from the outside world because they're afraid of the unknown. They're afraid to go out. They're afraid to touch anything. They're afraid to expose themselves to others. But mainly, they're just ashamed of their condition and they're embarrassed and humiliated. Some people, and I know a lot, some people find their symptoms of Morgellons unbearable and they make the decision to take their lives. They just decide to end it all so they can escape from their torment. Animals, even animals now are being diagnosed with Morgellons. Dogs, cats, domestic animals, livestock, birds, even the trees and the plants are being affected by Morgellons. It seems like it's spreading, folks. It's spreading, and there's nothing that's not being affected by it. Morgellons sufferers they're tormented. We are tormented day and night, 24/7, 7 days a week, with no help on the way. The medical community has pretty much rejected us, turned their backs on us, and left us to fend for ourselves. And because we've been rejected and we've been labeled as delusional, sometimes insane, we've been forced to take matters into our own hands. We've been forced to treat ourselves, and we've been forced to experiment on ourselves with whatever we feel like will help us. over-the-counter products. Some people are just taking so many herbs that they can't keep up with them. All essential oils for the body. And then for some people, it's just whatever they have in their medicine cabinet at home. Anything they can find to give them relief. We've been forced to treat ourselves. But some people have actually been successful. And I'm one of them. Some people who have took it on themselves to take matters into their own hands have been able to see all of their symptoms completely disappear. Now, we're not going to be brave enough to say that we're healed because, honestly, we don't know that. But we know that our symptoms are gone and we have relief. And we're starting to get our lives back. We took the risk without knowing the outcome, and we survived. We survived. So the people out there, and with this disease spreading like it is everywhere, there's so much work that needs to be done. There's so much that we can do. So for the people out there who may be hiding away in their homes, who may be suffering in silence, are isolating themselves from the world, you don't have to hide anymore because there's people out there. There's thousands of people out there just like you who are suffering just like you do. You don't have to hide it anymore. There's help out there. We're out here. We're out there. We're telling our stories. We're telling what worked for us, and we're telling what we think will work for you. So find us on YouTube. Find us on social media. Reach out to us. We can help you. We don't want to see people taking their lives. We don't want to see this, not when there's so much help that we can provide now. So whether you have full-blown Morgellons like me, or whether you have just a mild case of Morgellons, or maybe you don't have Morgellons and you just want to take preventive measures from getting it. What you can do to prevent it right now is you can start the bathtub soakings. Start the bathtub soaking, then either Epsom salt or baking soda or borax or something that'll penetrate the pores of your skin. Don't use anything harsh. Don't use any pesticides or chemicals in your water, anything like that. That's just going to make you sicker. Use something that makes sense, like Epsom salt or baking salt. And if you don't want to use Epsom salt or baking salt or borax will help bring the bugs and the parasites to the surface as well as the fungus. But Epsom salt and baking soda will do the same thing and work just as well. There's other things out there that people are using that I just can't name them all. But if you don't want to use baking soda or Epsom salt, you can use salt. You can use regular salt, but I would recommend sea salt. Start right now with something, bathing it, put something in your bath water and start the bathtub treatments. If you start the bathtub soakings, what you do is you put some Epsom salt or whatever in your bathtub in hot water as hot as you can stand, and you soak in that for at least an hour. If you can't do an hour, then do at least 30 or 40 minutes. Stay in as long as you can. What you have to force this fungus, there's a white fungus, and you have to force it out of your skin. The only way that I found to force it out is through the bathtub soakings. So if you have Morgellons, you need to start forcing this fungus out of your skin. If you don't know if you have Morgellons, you need to start taking the bathtub treatments anyway for preventive measures. If you soak in the tub every night for 2 weeks and you don't see anything coming out of your skin after 2 weeks, then you're okay. But if you soak every night and you start seeing a white fungus or a white fuzz-like stuff coming out of your skin, that's the Morgellons fungus. And you got to keep up your bathtub soakings until you see no more fungus. For some people, it's going to be a long, long, long process. And for others, like if you have a mild condition, you might not have to soak very long. For me, it took months. So The main point that I want to stress is to take preventive measures now. It doesn't matter whether you have full blown, a mild case, or no symptoms at all. It's just good. It's just a good idea, folks, to start the preventive measures. And once you get out of the tub, once you through your soaking, when you get out of the tub, then you saturate your whole body with some kind of oil. For me, I use castor oil, but you can use any kind of oil. You can use coconut oil. You can use olive oil. You can use what's that other? Any kind of essential oil like peppermint, lavender, or lemon, or if you've got enough of it. If you've got enough of it to do your whole body with, you can use avocado oil, grapeseed oil. I use that a lot. Uh, any any kind of oil, any kind of oil will work because the oil helps. Not only does it help soothe the sores because you're going to have sores break out on you along with the fungus. But not only does the oil help with the sores, but it also helps moisturize the body and keep the body from being raw. And well, you're going to have some rash, but the oil will help to keep the skin moisturized. So that's all I want to say, folks, is if you have full-blown Morgellons, then you already know all this. Chances are you've already done your research and you know all this. But if you don't, and if you're having any of the slightest symptoms of Morgellons, then I would suggest that you start the bathtub treatments right away. Thanks.